Pretty solid PVZ, to be honest. Oh! What? Exclamation mark be in the chat. I need to bring this up. I need to put this intro on hold because people, Jeshi 2-1 Classic, which is already insane. Classic has been popping off, and for Jeshi to take him down 2-1 is a great result. Jeshi moved on, and he 2-0'd Hero. He 2-0'd Hero. He's in the semis. Oh my god. I'm in shock right now. I was really not expecting that. I was getting ready for the Hero Classic quarterfinals. Wow. Shout out to Jeshi, the Chinese Protoss player, for popping off there in the upper half of the bracket. But here we are, looking to see who faces him in the semifinals, because spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Gressvan, we have the South Korean Terran player. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gressvan, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing Onside Gaming. It is Solar. And are they ready for what's waiting for them, mate? Oh my god, Jeshi, the PvP sniper. He took down Classic and Hero, arguably two of the best Protoss players in South Korea right now. Like, I think Classic has superseded Zaun at this point. I think I could maybe comfortably say that Hero and Classic are... Classic is maybe top 3. I would say Hero, then Creator, then Classic. They're probably the top 3 in Korea at the moment. Yeah, I just need to let that sink in a little bit. Oh my god. Jeshi has popped up before. Like, he's one of the stronger Chinese players out there. Like, every now and then he has a really solid result like this where he takes down a top tier Protoss player, or sometimes even a Zerg. I remember Jeshi taking down Scarlet a couple of months ago, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, it's really impressive. I hope we will be seeing him after this series, so I hope he's preparing himself here for the next matchup, whether it's a Zerg player or a Terran. I'm ready to bear witness. Before that happens, we do have our series here, and GuMiho so far has opened up quite a standard fashion, is going for that 3cc 111. From here, we should be expecting a Banshee follow-up as well. If we get an add-on switch, we'll see, as the starport is thrown down. Meanwhile, Solar just goes for a hatch gas pool. This time, actual hatch gas pool. I didn't miss any kind of gas pool opener or anything like that we saw from Hyperion. I'll be paying attention this time. I apologize. And yeah, things are going to be slowly getting underway. I'm so glad that we're on Gressvan as well. We've been seeing so much of this map in this matchup, or period, actually, and it's just provided us so many good games. And I expect this to be another one of them. I expect. Solar's just working on his queens as well. He's going to be cutting some corners here. Again, only making 4 lings, and he's not making any additional. If GuMiho was threatening with these Hellions, then he could maybe find some damage, but we see that GuMiho has kind of respected Solar quite a bit, and he hasn't really been able to poke in yet, as he meets up with his other 2 Hellions and he's going across the map. Solar just now seeing these Hellions, but he's a little bit late to react here as GuMiho is making his way in towards the natural once again. Oh, he's going to be able to get 1 drone, but the Queens are hot on their heels. They got to go all the way into the main as well. We are so committed, but it looks like it may be worth it in the end. 4 drones get roasted. Can he get another volley off? So far, he's only lost a single Hellion. It looks like another is going to go down. The Lings come out just in time, and Solar cleans it up. 4 Hellions for 4 drones, not the best trade for GuMiho, especially if we're continuing Hellion production, especially if we could have worked towards a bit of a stronger push later on. So nice crisis management overall here from Solar. Yeah, looking at the units lost tab heroes, 4 Hellions and a Reaper for 4 drones and 12 lings. Oh. Solar able to breathe easy after that, you know, set himself up. We have some spores on the way. Looking at his vision, his Overlord did go in to confirm the opener, did see the tech lab on the starport, so he's fully aware to be prepared for Banshees. As GuMiho did end up rebuilding a lot of his Hellions. He's just diving in again. Oh my god, he's crazy. He doesn't even care. He goes in once again, straight into the natural mineral line. Oh. And he's going to be getting 5 more drones. 5 drones for 6 Hellions. Unfortunately, a little bit mistimed. The Banshees do slip in and they get a couple more drones. They definitely do. Oh god, but GuMiho just has no chill, and I don't know if that was really worth it. Now GuMiho has 0 Hellions, now he has 0 map control and map presence, and because of that, Solar, he's going to be able to spread his creep to his heart's content. There's going to be nothing to keep this in check. It's kind of what you give up if you do dive in with your Hellions like that. Maybe GuMiho thinks it's worth it. Maybe he thinks that he would never be able to contest against this creep threat anyway, but like, you know, Solar can kind of do whatever he wants here. There are definitely still Banshees out there that are a little bit threatening, but for the most part, Solar, he has plenty of queens, he's got spores. Like, as long as he's able to get a bit of a heads up, he can react in time. And even here, the Banshees are looking to threaten the 4th base, but the queens are in position, and we have creep in position as well. It's all set up here. Solar's 4th is fine. Oh. And with that, GuMiho, he's backed off. I mean, he's working up quite a large bio force. He's got 1-1 that's about to kick in. We're working off of 5 of these Raxes for the time being, which is what we should be expecting. We have a 4th CC on the way, so we're not going to be going for any kind of 8 Rax commitment or anything like that. And I was really curious to see how Solar was going to approach this. In a game where he has a lot of freedom and a lot of control, and he's not necessarily being forced into anything, he's going for a Hydra Den. So he's going to be going for a Lingbane Hydra. We'll see if he starts Hydra upgrades or if he decides to go straight into a Hive. There are a lot of Zerg players out there that try to skip, you know, the Hydra phase and go straight into Lurkers. We can see that that isn't going to be the case though. Oh, as the Banshees do slip in, and hey, they get a couple of workers, they get a queen as well. More damage than I thought they would do. But GuMiho has to be careful because Solar is setting up a surround. His lings are waiting for the moment. So these Banshees have done well for themselves overall. It looks like one Banshee did get picked off though. No spores once again, so this Banshee could find a little bit more damage. Oh, meanwhile, the push does get scouted. Solar has to be careful not to lose too many of these lings. Oh, good. A decent chunk of them get picked off. The Banshee finally goes down, and Solar can focus on this main push, but so much creep has receded. And GuMiho is going to be able to set up. He's going to be able to siege. Solar is getting ready for a surround. He just needs to buy a little bit more time. Banelings are finishing up, and here we go. Solar's pulling the trigger. He's coming in from behind. Oh. And it looks like these 2 tanks are barely going to be enough. The tanks get reset though. GuMiho is going to be able to push on forward. We don't have enough Banelings. We only have 2 ready for this. Mate, despite the surround, it looks like GuMiho may have still been able to pull it off. We'll see how good his target firing is. Once again, he gets another Baneling. And it's just too much. GG gets called. GuMiho. He wasn't even necessarily, like, he had 2-2 on the way. He had a 4th CC on the way. A pretty regular push coming out from GuMiho, but the setup was what it was all about. No creep whatsoever, was ready for this. Solar losing so many lings as well in the lead up to the push, and the surround seemed a little bit mistimed and maybe a little bit premature. Even if the flank had come in at the same time as the frontal assault for Solar, I don't think he had enough Lingbane to really deal with this. Maybe it would have been a little bit wiser to wait for GuMiho to push into him to push into creep. GG. GG. Oh. Thank you. Puppy? Thank you. We good? Oh, okay. Just getting ready for game number 2. So, yeah, really solid play from GuMiho overall. I'm not convinced by his Hellion dives, I'll be honest. I'm not the most convinced from that. But outside of that, you know, his macro was quite solid. His Banshee harassment kind of made up for the Hellions, I feel. They did a great job at least distracting Solar and forcing him to drone more than he would have liked. Oh. Now. GG. Here we go. We're going to be loading into game number 2, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the South Korean Terran player representing himself. He is a free agent. He is GuMiho. Spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Royal Blood, we have his opponent, the South Korean Zerg player representing Onside Gaming. It is Solar. I'm trying to go over the last game in my head as well. Taking up into Hydras the way that he did, I think he was safe to do so, to be honest. Like, again, it wasn't like GuMiho was all in off of 3 bases. He wasn't. I referenced the 8 racks earlier, and it wasn't like he was doing that. So I think Solar was safe to take up into Hydras. Yeah, I guess like that angle, especially on Gressvan, can be really awkward to engage into. Just Solar maybe overestimating his own army and underestimating what GuMiho had set up outside his base. I have to assume that that's kind of what it came down to. Otherwise, I'm sure Solar would have taken that a little bit slower, would have waited for GuMiho not just to push into him, but maybe even evacuate that 3rd base and expand and take a southern 3rd or 5th base even. GG. GG, well played by GuMiho, and we'll see if he can do it again here in game number 2. Once again, nothing too crazy coming out from him. He didn't opt to proxy or anything like that. Solar is just making sure that that's the case, just checking with his overlords, making sure that he is covering his proxy locations and he isn't going to get bamboozled. Ticking his T's, dotting his I's, all that good stuff. Oh. As we get into our second game, I'm sure when I think about Solar and ZvT as well, I was thinking about him maybe shifting gears, but he doesn't seem like that kind of player. He's not your Dark. He's not the kind of player who, you know, switches into Roaches and goes for like a Queen Roach push or a Nidus all-in or anything like that. That's the X factor that Dark has over Solar, I feel, where Dark is so much more unpredictable. In saying that, you know, where kind of Solar excels is how much more of a solid player he is overall. I think he's a lot more willing to embrace the late game and go toe-to-toe with his opponent. I mean, it's what he was trying to do in the last game, right? He was trying to get into Lingbane Hydra. He was trying to get a 4th saturated and up and running. But maybe against GuMiho, that's not the wisest of choices. We'll see. That's so far nothing too crazy. Once again, 3cc opener, 1-1-1. We've been seeing it every game so far this series from GuMiho, and we're going to be seeing more of it as we have that tech lab on the way. We are set up for a bit of an add-on stop as well to get into our Banshees. Now, the question is, that I posed to the chat, is GuMiho just going to ape his Hellions again? The answer is probably. GuMiho has no chill. He's moving out with his first 2 Hellions. We've got 2 more behind this. We see the add-on swap to get into Banshees. Oh, actually, we're getting a Viking first. Okay, interesting. Going to be keeping Solar in the dark. Reaper slips into the main base just to make sure there's no additional gases that have been taken, that no additional drones have been pulled into gas either. No fast lair. GuMiho making sure that Solar isn't retaliating with any kind of roach all in. Meanwhile, yeah, it's GuMiho. He has 4 Hellions. It's go time. He just has no chill. He just doesn't care. He goes in anyway, and oh, he's gonna be roasting a lot of these drones. Actually, the Hellions all go down, but for 9 drones, 9 compared to game 1 where he only got 4. Bear that in mind. So this time, GuMiho is gonna be finding a lot of value here. He is gonna be getting those Hellions to pay for themselves, and yeah, Solar not having the best reaction to that either. His drones were very bunched up. Very haphazard response. And you know what? GuMiho, he's got another 4 Hellions. It's time to go again. Oh my god. What's interesting is that this time he only makes 4 though. If you recall, in game 1, GuMiho made 10 in total and made 6 Hellions for his next wave. So he cuts Hellion production, and we see that he's going to be using some of those resources to go into Cloak instead. So he's actually going to be committing further into Banshees. So he is slightly adjusting his build here. He's adapting how he's playing, and he's, again, keeping Solar in the dark. I do like this as well. Because I feel like Solar, he's inclined to maybe overcommit. We see here, he made a wave of Lings. I'm sure he's anticipating a second dive from GuMiho, and GuMiho is not going to give that to him. It's a nice little mental game that's happening here. So I was like, oh, you know, in game 1, he did just ape into me, like, for a second time. So he's going to do that again, right? The answer is no. He's going to be approaching this a little bit differently, as the 2 Banshees are moving out. We have Cloak this time. We have Hellions to reinforce and to just clear up some of this creep. And Solar has skipped his spores. He has a spore at his natural. Okay, he has his spores actually set up for Liberators, not for Banshees. Uh-oh, as the Banshees are waddling on in. We do see an Overseer being morphed in, though. It's going to finish up in a couple of seconds. No spore at the 3rd. Oh, God. Solar getting punished for his greed. At the same time, Hellion's going to be just, you know, distracting and poking a little bit here at the 4th base. As 8 more drones go down. Oh, but GuMiho messes up a little bit. He's going to be losing one of his Banshees. Will he lose a second? Almost. Leaving his units a little bit idle in the middle of the map. Not what we want to be seeing. As GuMiho has his 3rd base fully operational, is saturated, and here we go. 3 more Raxes are thrown down. No 4th CC. It is going to be an 8 Rax from GuMiho. This is going to hit like a truck. And this is where it isn't safe to invest into Hydras. We have a Hydra Den on the way. Hopefully we don't invest too much into the upgrades and into Hydras themselves, because more than anything we need Lingbane. As GuMiho is going to be staying here on 3 bases for quite some time. Is going to be banking up a large Bioforce. Oh boy. So far it looks like Solar, even though he hasn't scouted this, like, he is responding quite well. He's staying at 75 drones, which I feel like is acceptable for the most part. He's working on Hydra speed. Here we go, GuMiho coming in from the right-hand side. And he doesn't really have too much pushing power here. He's just distracting the army as we have a Hellbat run by. The Hellions from earlier. Let's go. They get 6 drones. They're going to be able to get the Queen. They can't get much else. Do trade very nicely against these Banelings though. Oh my god. GuMiho, he comes in from the right-hand side as well. He's going to be forcing a cancel on the 5th base. Oh, another 2 drones get roasted. Oh no! Would have managed a nice drag there from Solar. He doesn't take a shot to the face. We do have a 4th CC on the way, so GuMiho is transitioning out of this. But he has done a lot of damage already. Once again, just crippling the economy. I say crippling, hindering the economy of Solar, trading very nicely with his Bioforce. Gonna be keeping the pressure up. little bit of friendly fire, but it's okay. As GuMiho is setting up to try and cancel this 5th base once again. And Solar, yeah, he just gives up on it immediately. He knows that he cannot hold on. And Solar's kind of getting starved out. He's stuck on 4 bases. He needs a 5th desperately. Meanwhile, Wood Mine Shot is going to be going up. Ooh. Doesn't go off in the end. Decent trades here from Solar. He may even be forced to double expand, to be honest, just to try and get one hatchery up and running. Does auto expand here on the left-hand side instead. The problem as well is that Solar doesn't have a macro hatch, so he desperately needs one of these hatcheries to get up and running. Hive is on the way. Hydras are coming out. The creep is almost non-existent on the right-hand side. GuMiho, though, with this pressure, he's kind of checking to see if another base has been taken. He hasn't rechecked the left, so he doesn't know that Solar is sneaking out a 5th. Meanwhile, more creep is being cleaned up. Solar just rushing into Hive, rushing into a lurker den. Lurkers will give him breathing room. They will kind of slow the game down. If he can get there. Oh no, GuMiho, he's gonna check. He's gonna check, Papi. Once again, just focusing down every single creep doomer. The Ling Bane doesn't want to engage. Oh. Solar forced to commit. Forced to run Banelings into Marauders, and at the same time, this 5th base, it's never gonna finish. At the same time, the main army pushes forward. We are running out of Banelings. Solar is being pulled apart right now. He just doesn't have enough. He has a Hive, he's getting Vipers, but he's never going to be able to make use of it. The 5th base goes down. As well as every single Baneling here on the right-hand side. GuMiho is going to keep on pushing. He drops into the main. Solar's really struggling to keep up. He may even lose the 4th. Oh my god. Oh my god, the Viper? No way. Okay, the Viper survives. Thankfully, the Viper at least survives, but Solar gets knocked down to 3 hatcheries. He's got a lurker den. He's morphing in some lurkers now, but at this point, he's all in. At this point, he's just trying to take whatever base he can. Like, Solar's drone count is pretty good, but I mean, look at all this, like, long distance mining. Like, his economy is taking a massive hit right now, and GuMiho has Remax. He's coming back in. The creep barely exceeding the bases of Solar. Lurkers have been revealed. Lurkers are a game changer. If they're in position, Solar can defend. They're not here. But it looks like we should have enough Ling Bane. He's getting on top of the Marauders. He's getting on top of the tanks. Oh, Solar is forcing this back. Until the reinforcements show up, at least. Those lurkers, we need them here. Unfortunately, they're defending the right-hand side, and without lurkers, I don't think Solar can hold on. He refuses to bring them over. There we go. We see the unborrow. The lurkers are on the way, but it may just be too late. Oh, they finally get into position. Meanwhile, Solar is getting the hatcheries up and running. You know, they have finished. He is getting them saturated. He's still in this. Oh. And again, these lurkers are doing what they need to be doing. They're slowing the game down. They're forcing GuMiho to back the hell off, giving Solar the breathing room that he needs to actually establish his bases, to respread his creep. It was close though. It was close, Papi. It was close. GuMiho coming in from multiple angles. Unfortunately, Solar doesn't have the lurker count to defend multiple bases at once. He only has them in one location. Oh, it has to be careful. Like, these right-hand bases are so exposed. Oof. I feel like GuMiho knows that. He's going to be rotating on over as well. Meanwhile, he's just been expanding behind this. He's got his own 4th up and running. His 5th is getting saturated. He's getting his sensor towers up as well. A Terran player left to his own devices like this is a scary thing. Solar's trying to set up for a bit of surround. He's got a 6th base on the way. Very little creep here, but it's on the way. Yeah, and GuMiho doesn't really have the numbers to properly fight this. At the same time, Solar is pushing pretty far off of creep. I don't know if this is the wisest choice. We do have a Viper on the way for the parasitic bomb. Ooh, there we go. Oh, nice splits from GuMiho though. This is very little. And Solar now has the map control. The power of the Lunkers. The power of the Lurkers, Poppy is taking every single base that he can. He has stabilized. He's catching up in his upgrades. 3-3 on the way. We have settled down. GuMiho has to be careful with these ghosts. They are quite exposed. Oh, the Lynx are trying to get a wraparound, but there is no detection. Nicely done by GuMiho. We got the next speak too soon. Up! Oh my god! 6 ghosts go down. I didn't speak too soon. Solar trading very well. Oh. And alas, GuMiho now needs even more time to rebuild his army. We're getting some nice snipes here and there. But he has to make up for all those dead ghosts earlier, and without any tanks, without any mines set up here on top of the high ground, Solar, he's just rolling on in. Doesn't even care. We have a Nidus on the left-hand side. Lurkers are going to be able to lay siege upon this mineral line from the low ground. At the same time, Hydras come in. GuMiho getting pinched. The ghosts! Oh god! We have our Lunker upgrades. Investing into these Lunkers, it paid off. At this point, it looks like it's just too much. GuMiho has no good answer. Oh. Solar fighting his way back for the people, for the Zergs, for Dark. It's gonna force a lift up here on the 3rd base. And even though GuMiho, his ghost count isn't looking too bad, it's literally all he has. Like, look at the units tab. It's 10 ghosts, 9 marines. We have a Nidus into the main base, and this is the checkmate move. Niduses have control of the production. And GuMiho just doesn't have the numbers to hold on. Oh. GG gets caught. I was gonna say, like, you know, his ghosts, they're cleaning up the Lurkers in the main base, Copium, but it's not gonna be enough. GG gets called, and Solar ties it up 1-1. I was so concerned for Solar earlier when he got knocked down to 3 hatcheries, mate. 3 hatcheries. He had 4 Lurkers to his name, but he was able to hold on. He slowed the game down the way that he needed to. And he stabilized. He was able to stabilize, and he got away with some pretty powerful Lurker tech as well. Oh, GG. GuMiho maybe not being as active as he could have been to kind of find these weak points in the armor of Solar. Yeah. GG. Well, I'm just happy that we have a series. That's all I want. That's all I want out of this. We have a series. We're going all the way to the ace match, to a best of 5. Sorry, best of 3. To the ace match. All the way, Papi, all the way. Let's go, Papi, let's go. Looks like game 3 is going to be on Babylon. Huh? Babylon LE. That is where it all comes down. The Climax. It all culminates here. Babylon. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player representing himself, still rocking that Psystorm Gaming clan tag. You love to see it. Still representing his old team. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Babylon, we have his opponent, the South Korean Zerg player, who was at death's door in game number 2. So close to going over the edge. We have the South Korean Zerg representing Onside Gaming. It is Solar. I was so worried he was gonna get 2-0'd, mate. I was so concerned. I was like, not like this, Papi, not like this. I know we haven't been able to cast Solar in a couple of weeks, but this can't be his return to the CranKy Ducklings. But yeah, thankfully he does hold on in the end. You know, a risky move taking up to Lurkers the way that he did, as quickly as he was, but it did pay off in the end. It's what kept him alive, actually. And he was able to bring it back in the end. And now things are falling upon GuMiho once again. He has been switching up his openers. Every single time, though, he's been able to get some value out of his Hellions. He got a lot of drone kills last game, if you recall. Like, the early game for GuMiho was so solid. He got the drone kills. He was able to force a cancel on the 4th base and just keep Solar, sorry, on the 5th base, and keep Solar on 4 bases for so long as well. He had so much control over the early mid-game portion of game 2. But as the game progressed, things kind of slipped through his fingers a little bit. He was maybe a little bit too wasteful with his Liberators and tanks. So by the time we did get into the mid-game, he didn't really have too much staying power with his army. His tank count kept getting reset, the Liberators as well. There was that moment where half of his ghosts got caught out of position. It was, yeah, a pretty rocky transition period there for GuMiho. But we'll see how that all changes here in game 3. As Solar, he just goes Hatchcast Pool. He's getting his 3rd base on location at the time that we expect him to. Nothing too crazy from our Zerg. Meanwhile, GuMiho is doing something different. Is doing something a little bit more aggressive. Huh. GuMiho skipped his Reaper. Is going Marine first. Marine straight into the reactor. He is delaying his 3rd CC. Is going for a straight up 1-1-1 opener. Something that we haven't seen from him at all today. So, oh my god. GuMiho wants to not just be aggressive. The Rax is going for a bit of a trip here. I think he's trying to catch the Overlord. He assumes that the Overlord is here at the pillar, but it's down here. Oh. It's a bit awkward. GuMiho, he's checking the next pillar as well. Where's the Overlord? I mean, it's going into your main, Papi. It's... Oh my god, as GuMiho is going for a BC opener. Ay. No add-on swap, making the starport with his... Sorry, making the tech lab with his starport. Fusion core is on the way. So unlucky. GuMiho was doing everything he could to kill that Overlord, but he didn't know where it was, and now he's being punished for it. The Overlord slips into the main base. It will confirm the opener. Does see the starport, does see the tech lab, I believe. Oh, doesn't spot the tech lab. But we're missing something. He sees that the Rax is nowhere to be found, which is pretty sus. So alarm bells must be ringing here for Solar. The potential for BCs is real. He also didn't just see the lack of Rax, he also saw the lack of CC. Oh boy. So Queen production is what we need, and Queen production is what we are seeing. Queen's spores are on the way as well. Oh. And we'll see if this works out here for GuMiho. He's going... He's doubling down. Fun fact, I was in Babyling's stream yesterday, and I actually brought this up because the topic of BCs came up, as it usually does in these Zerg safe places. And I was talking about how GuMiho, he still makes 2-port BC work at the highest level of play. And he makes like Korean Zerg smudge. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. GuMiho is going for 2-port BC. Ay. What a way to end the series here, as the first BC gets across the map, does get 4 drone kills, gets an Overlord as well. And we have 2 more BCs behind this. Alongside Mech, of course. GuMiho doing the Gumi special. You love to see it. I hate to play against it, but I love to see it. Ay. And as we are getting into this, massive shout out to the big Caesar in the chat. Thank you so much for the raid. We appreciate it. We love it. Gracias, papi. Gracias. As you're here just in time to see Solar get smudged. I mean, for the most part, you know, he's getting ready for this. He has a Spire on the way. He's continuing Queen production. He's got Roaches on the way as well, because the typical transition is going to be Mech. But here we go. The second BC gets teleported right into the front lines. He's going to be able to get another Yamato off. Gets another Queen. And the BCs, they're just not going to stop. Third BC just teleports straight in. He's going to get another Yamato off. Oh. 3 queens go down, 4, 5 queens go down, and this is snowballing. This is getting out of control. Despite Solar preparing for the worst, we are lacking spores. When you're up against 2-port BC, you need stack defense. You need more to support your queens, and that is something that we just do not see here. As the BCs continue to teleport across the map, we see Solar sending everything across the map to try to end the game. There isn't a lot on the ground. It looks like the depot is not going to go down. The repair is too good, and the BC teleports back home. GuMiho defends, and he attacks. He's at home. He's across the map. He's everywhere he needs to be. No spore in the main. No. Oh. Nothing in the main base. GG gets called. GuMiho does it again with the 2-port BC. He eliminates Solar from ESL Open Cup Asia and moves on to the semifinals. Oh my god. I need a shower. GG, well played. Congratulations to GuMiho. Apologies to GuMiho for doing what he does best. This is a bit of a GuMiho special. Every now and then he whips it out against Solar, against Dark, against Rainer, against whoever he wishes, and he does it like no one else can. Just something special about GuMiho, and yeah, GG, well played. Of course, GuMiho did a good job at just hiding his build overall. What I mean by that is that, as we're setting up potentially for our next game, what I mean by that, as we're actually setting up for our semifinals, is we are, God, I lost my train of thought. A lot's happening in game. What I mean by that is that Solar was investing into Roaches, and it's kind of... Unfortunately, there was nothing for the Roaches to do. We saw them try to go for a counterattack across the map, and it just fell on its face. All of our gas, all of our resources need to be spent on Spores, on Queens, and on Corruptors, more than anything. He had a Spire on the way. Unfortunately, he just wasn't necessarily spending his resources where he needed to, because he didn't know about the second starport. He didn't know how committed GuMiho was with his BCs, and that was his downfall. That was the end of it. That was GuMiho advancing onto the semis. GG. GG. Well played. My condolences to Solar as he does get eliminated from the tournament. He had a really good run for himself, making it to the quarterfinals, but that just goes to show how cutthroat and how intense these tournaments are. You have the best of the best here. You have Hero, you have Dark, you have GuMiho, you have Björn. And making a deep run is a difficult thing to do. It is difficult.